Hey everybody, welcome back to Conspiracy Theories and Chill. Come on in, we'll start in about a minute. Just give you a little time to come in and share, like the show, join in the comments, let me know you're here. This is a conspiracy theory show, it's right in the title. I like to be obvious with that and right up front. But today we're going to talk about how we need to wake up, that we are sleeping through the end times. And by we, again, I mean the grand we, your average person. There is a large amount of us that are waking up, and that's great, but we need more. So come on in, we'll start in just a second. I've got a little rant planned, and then we can talk about anything you want as normal. This is a participation show, so feel free to comment, talk about anything you want over there. We can get into any conspiracy theory you like. Hey, Al Angel, welcome back. But we can talk about anything you want. I'm going to rant about this real quick because I think it's important. I think we're in the biblical end times. I really do. I think we're definitely in the age of deceit. But I happen to be religious. Even if you're not religious, we are in the end times. Most of mainstream science agrees that we have less than 10 years left before we reach a climate crisis and things are too late. And most economic scholars agree that the United States economy will collapse. It will come to an end. The rug will get pulled out from under us. So things are going to get really bad really fast. We don't have a lot of time left. Most people are oblivious to that. There is a massive awakening, and that's great. If you happen to be part of that awakening, congratulations. But you have to know that part of being awake is waking others. You have to realize that's now your job. It sucks because it's a huge task. The average person is bombarded with propaganda and brainwashing and been indoctrinated and brainwashed since they were little in order to believe in this system that is set up to keep us enslaved and keep us docile and ignorant to what's really going on. The average person, we need the average person to wake up to how bad things really are. Because by the time, if we leave them be, they will sleep all the way through this. They won't wake up until it's far too late. It's almost too late. But they won't wake up on their own till it's far too late. We can't wait for that. We have to help them wake up. We have to realize that that's our job as the woke, to wake as many as we can. Because the predator class, those in power, whatever you want to call them, if you don't want to label them Illuminati, I like to call them the predator class. We can at least agree that it's a handful of people that are controlling all the world's resources, and their greed is consuming and dominating and destroying society. I think everybody needs to at least be able to agree upon that. And I like to call them the predator class. I feel like that's fitting, and I would like to see it catch on because that's what they are. They're predators. They are killing us all. We're letting them. The average person needs to wake up to that in order for there to be any real change because unfortunately it takes us united in order to make real change. That's where our power is. That's why ever since the beginning of time, they've always put so much time and effort in keeping society separated, divide and conquer, bread and circuses, anything to distract and divide to keep us weak. Because we are only strong when we stand up united. And we need more people. There is a lot of us. There is a lot of awake and aware people. And the awakening that we're seeing is beautiful. But we need to help it along. We're running out of time. We can't rest on our laurels. We can't wait for these people to wake up on their own. We have to start realizing that it is our job, and then looking at different ways to approach that job. A lot of times we are very hard on the sheep and don't realize when we're calling them that, first off, we're shutting them down right away. The minute you start calling someone names, they're shutting off. We have to address cognitive dissonance. It's a real thing. These people are heavily brainwashed and indoctrinated, as we've already discussed, and we all understand that. So when we're dealing with them, we need to take that into consideration. We're fighting through massive amounts of propaganda, brainwashing, and indoctrination. And we're going to have to soften the way we deal with them, because once you trigger someone's cognitive dissonance, they're not even listening to you anymore. You're not getting through. At best, they're just waiting for their turn to talk again, if they're even still arguing with you. They've stopped absorbing any information. Their brain has went into self-defense mode. So we just need to realize that we need these people. We can't spend all our time mocking the sheep, as people like to call them. We need to wake them, and it's our job. Hey, Miss Imaginary, signs are really looking like the end is almost here. Everything is pointing in that direction, and nothing is going to stop it. The predator class, the elite, they will run this into the ground. They don't care. And I firmly believe that they plan to wipe a large number of us out. And I know that that's what's in their writing and what's in their plans, is for there to be a large extinction level event. Some people think that that may be 5G. I think we're going to regret 5G deeply. I think we're going to have a hard time explaining to future generations why we let them put this massive 5G grid into place and expose population to frequencies and radiation levels of this magnitude, because we don't even care what the damage is going to be. These are weaponized military frequencies that we're going to be using to have cooler cell phones, faster cell phones, better internet. And these 300,000 new towers that are going to go up, because 5G needs 300,000 new towers. So all these new towers are going to be exposing people to massive amounts of radiation. This could be the extinction event. Who knows what it'll be? Whether it'll be a plague or a virus or, you know, whatever 5G ends up being capable of. The point is, they don't even know what it's capable of. They're just putting it into play. These are the same people that are destroying the planet, by the way. They don't care what it does to the regular person. They don't care how it affects the future. They don't care about the future. They see us as parasites, and they don't care about our lives. They only care about how much they can accumulate for themselves. James says we do not consent. Absolutely. And silence is consent. And they look at society as on a whole, in a grand scale. So we, when I say that, we are consenting, I'm saying it on the grand scale. There's not a large enough number of us awake and aware and standing up against what's actually taking place. We need there to be, we need to pass that tipping point. We need to wake enough people up, make enough people aware of what's really going on to get them to stand united so that we can voice that we do not consent. But the average person, like I said, is oblivious to what is actually going on. And that's even including the ones that feel like they're informing themselves because they watch the news, and they feel like they're informed on what's going on in the world. They take an effort to learn about things. They read the newspaper, they read magazines, they stay informed. But all of that media that they're taking in is just weaponized propaganda. They're brainwashed, is what they are. Uh, so the more you try to inform yourself as a regular person until you've seen through the brainwashing and the power of the weaponized media, the deeper you dig your hole. Unfortunately, that's sad because as a society and as humanity as a whole, we're running out of time. We don't have a lot of time left. We need these people to wake up. We need to put a stop to what's going on, and we need to make our voice louder, our voice as a whole. And the only way to do that is to wake up more people. So, Miss Imaginary says, like all these abortion rights rallies, there's a lot of interesting things going. I think abortion is used, as far as politically goes, just to manipulate the masses. I don't know that they would ever do something as extreme as overturning Roe versus Wade. I think that they will threaten society with that and use it to play with people's emotions. And because people feel deeply one way or the other about an issue like that. But I think that the powers that be are just pretending to care in order to manipulate, you know. I don't think you'll ever see any real action from them either way. But it's things are bad, and the average person needs to be aware of that. And the only way that we're ever going to break through the lies that society is bombarded with is by spreading the truth. And that's getting harder to do. They're trying to erase the truth in real time. Google owns a monopoly of information. They happen to be the most popular and widely used search engine out there. And then they happen to own a wide variety of social media outlets. And the largest of that would be YouTube. And they are suppressing truth in real time, erasing it as it occurs. Anything that they consider to be conspiratorial, that's the label that they're attacking right now. But we need to realize that these views, even if you don't agree with them, need to have the right to exist because otherwise, you're going to find yourself living in a place where all of you're getting is the establishment accepted narrative. You're only going to be presented with one view, what they want you to hear. You're never going to be able to get to the truth. You're going to find yourself in a really scary place. You know, a lot of this dystopian fiction was supposed to be fiction. 1984 has almost become a complete reality. These weren't meant to be roadmaps to the future, they were meant to be scary stories. They've become real. Miss Imaginary says we need to protest like that against 5G. We are, and again, I'm not talking about those that view this show or people that are awake to the dangers presented by 5G. I'm talking about your average person is oblivious. Oblivious. You know, and the government doesn't care. They don't care that there's threats to this technology. They've outright said they don't. You know, you can look up the chairman of the FCC, the organization that should be protecting you, that they don't even want to wait. They're not even going to wait for testing. They don't care. They want to lead the curve and they want to bring in these billions of dollars that they believe 5G technology will allow us to bring in. And that's all they're concerned with. So no one's going to stop it. No one's putting a stop to it. We do need to protest it. But the average person needs to be informed that this is dangerous because all they're being told by the mainstream media is how cool it is. You know, anything you see about 5G is just about, oh, things are going to be so much better. It's going to be this Internet of Things. They make it sound so cool. Well, not all of it is so cool. And there's more dangers than just the frequencies and the radiation because it opens up this whole Pandora's box with AI. You know, if you listen to Elon Musk talk, 5G makes AI a possibility, a reality. And when you listen to Elon Musk talk about the possibilities with AI, it sounds very much like Skynet from Terminator. And he actually says that it would wipe us out, that the only way to survive would be to merge with the machines. So, this Internet of Things isn't even as cool as what you're being led to believe it is. You know, none of this is what it seems. None of it's what it's presented to you as. They Everything they give you, ever since technology started rolling out to the public, has always been through the media. I mean, the military first. It's already been weaponized before you get it. You know, you think they really give a damn that your internet downloads are going to be faster? There's much more to why they want this 5G than to give you cooler, faster downloads and cooler internet experience. There's always more to their agenda. You always got to look behind the curtain. They want, and they've expressed that they want a large percent of us gone. Many of the richest people in the world, their biggest cause that they openly support is depopulation. They feel like there's too many of us. It's not that their greed is crippling society, it's that there's too many of us parasites, which is what they consider regular people to be. They put no value on you. They consider us to be a drain on the world, you know. It's not their greed that's crippling society, it's that there's too many of us. And I firmly believe they plan to wipe a large number of us out. They're vocal about it, you know. And their Stonehenge monument, the Illuminati Stonehenge, the Georgia Guidestones, lays it right out there in stone in 9 different languages that they want there to be 500 million people on the planet. There are close to 8 billion, 7.7, I think, billion people on the planet. That means a large number of us need to go to reach their goal, more than most. And that's what they feel needs to happen. That's their solution. Their final plan is to wipe most of us out, to get rid of us parasites, and just to waller in their accumulated wealth and resources, just to whatever society ends up rebuilding as, whatever money ends up being, they're going to have plenty of that. They don't care that the dollar is going to collapse. They've already hid their wealth in whatever money's going to become in the future. Whatever resources are going to be of value in gold and offshore accounts, and they've hid it all over the place. They stand to lose nothing. Their money will be safe by the time the dollar collapses. It will be you that's affected. And again, they don't care about you. So, what I'm saying is, we know this. We see this coming. Those of you that are watching a conspiracy theory type show like this and have sat through it for 20 minutes, without changing the channel or going to view something else, you already know. But we need to wake more people. We need the average person to know. Or we're just going to watch it all burn. And is that the point of being woke? I don't think that's the point of being woke. I think the point of being woke is to wake the others. And I think that's what our responsibility is, and that's our job. So we need to spread as much truth and do as much as we can to wake people up, or it's going to be too late. These people, the predator class, these people that are destroying us, they won't stop. Their greed knows no limits. And in reality, they are evil. They are evil sociopaths. They don't care about you. They will never stop. There will never be enough for them. So we have to stop them. And as the woke, we need to increase our numbers to the point where that we can stop them. And we need to realize we're up against a lot. The mass media, the mainstream media, And I'm including everything. When I say that the powers that be control the media, they control all media. That includes Hollywood. That includes literature. It includes everything. Everything that you read, see, or take in is owned by six corporations, unless it's independently produced. All of it. And they put predictive programming in all of it. A lot of movies are predictive programming. They use multi-tiered levels of brainwashing. It's when you really look at it from an evil perspective, it's brilliant. But they've been doing this forever. This propaganda machine has been around since World War II. It's the same propaganda machine from World War. They brought all those Nazis over from World War II, and it existed before World War II. They've just copied and pasted and improved on ways they've been controlling the population all throughout time. So we're just up against all of that, which is a lot. But once you break through it, things become clear and all things make sense. It's just waking up. That was the hardest part. Think back on it for yourself because all of us were at one point under this spell. We were all victim to this at one point. And that's another thing I think we should remember when talking to people and sharing truth, people that we may consider to be sheep. We should remember that at one point we were on that side. We were sheep. We were oblivious to what was really going on until we started waking up and informed ourselves and got to the truth. So just think we need to be more scientific. I think what we do is we try and go at them too hard and we trigger that cognitive dissonance and shut them down. We just need to realize that not going to get through that way. We've got to jab instead of trying to power punch every time. Just sprinkle the truth. Instead of pouring it on. Just drop it here and there and spread as much as you can and know that people are seeing it and that cracks are being made. That's all we can do. If we try to jar them awake too fast, we're just turning them off. They're not even listening to us anymore. But I have rambled on and exhausted my notes, and I think I made my point. I hope I made my point that we need to do all we can to wake people up. That is part of our responsibility as the woke. But what do you guys want to get into? There's a few people here. Any conspiracy theory you want, we can cover it. We can hang out for a little while if you want, but I have went through what I wanted to be the point of today's episode, and that is that we need to wake up because we are sleeping through the end times. And again, when I say we, I'm talking about the grand we, all of society, and we just need to wake enough people up to pass the tipping point and put a stop to this before it's too late. And we're running out of time. We need to realize it's not an unlimited clock on this. You know, whether you're looking at how much time the world has itself, we're heading to a crisis. And if you just look at how long American life itself, the American way of life, the American economy, and all of that has, you're on a ticking clock. Either way. Al Angel says, what's your opinion on shadow people? Now, not exactly sure what you're asking. Sometimes this is difficult when you're playing off the comments, but no, I'm going to ask you to describe that a little more because I can think of about 4 or 5 different ways that could go. So, when you're saying shadow people, what exactly are you asking? And then James says, brilliant people are playing chess and us checkers. You know, it's by design that people are misled. I don't know if that's exactly what you were talking about, but your average person, by design, is just misled and misinformed and distracted to the point where they don't understand what's actually going on, and it's sad. But even though this is the age of information, and to a certain point, to be misinformed is actually sort of a choice. It's willful ignorance because you can inform yourself. It's easy, but until the door is opened, until you've seen it, until you understand you're being lied to, you don't even know to look for truth. So, and as hidden as it's becoming, it's getting harder and harder to be mad at people for being misled. But we've got to still try to wake them. We've got to fight harder. It just means we have to do more to wake people up and to move things forward. I'm going to start guessing on what you meant by shadow people because I'm wanting to talk about it. I don't want to assume. Oh, here we go. The people that are pulling the strings behind everything, the people that we know that are there but we can't see. What do I think about? What's my opinion on them? My opinion on those that are actually in power pulling the strings is that they've been in power for hundreds of years. These select people, it's hundreds of people that are really pulling the strings, and probably less than that, probably maybe 100 people. But they're from elite bloodlines and royal families and Zionists. There's from different types, but it's pretty focused into a power structure that, like I said, has been in place for a long time, for hundreds of years. And they've perfected their control and their dominance and divided the world amongst themselves, basically. They control everything. So, but I believe that's who they are, but their philosophy is demonic. They are Luciferian and worship different demons. That's known, that's documented. They've been exposed many times doing that. That's widely known, whether it's looking into Skull and Bones or looking at Bohemian Grove. The occult plays heavily into those the truly in power. Is definitely at least used to manipulate, but I feel that they really believe in that stuff. I feel that they really believe they're drawing power from the occult, and may even be directly relating and communicating with the demonic beings, because I believe that there are demonic beings that have always interacted with humanity, just like it talks about in the Bible. But the elite at least claim in some of their writings and some of the things that they talk about to deal with these and deal with these otherworldly beings. And I don't believe in aliens. I believe that they're interdimensional beings. That's what aliens are. I believe that the aliens exist, but that they're interdimensional beings. They're not from outer space. But I also believe outer space is fake. We could get into a whole kind of things. And like I said, we can get into any conspiracy theory you want. I'm into plenty of them. But let's see. I don't know if I did a decent job, Al Angel. I kind of think I got distracted. But their philosophy is Luciferian. I believe they're from elite bloodlines and they've been in control for hundreds of years. And I believe they're sociopaths. They don't care about the average person. You're less than human to them. And their greed is insatiable. And the only thing that would stop them is if we stop them. They'll never stop themselves. And I believe they plan to wipe a large number of us out. But James says new Mel Gibson movies on the Rothschilds. Buried history. I didn't even know Mel Gibson had a new movie coming out. I'm gonna have to look into that. So it's on the Rothschild family? That sounds interesting. I'm gonna check that out. I kind of thought that they had ruined Mel Gibson. I like hearing that he's making a comeback, that he has a new movie coming out, because I thought that they had kind of wiped him out, took him down. Didn't it seem like they had decided that he was done? For a little while, Mel Gibson was doing even B movies, straight to Redbox movies. That sounds interesting, a movie on the Rothschilds. A lot of people don't know about these powerful families and have never even heard of the Rothschilds, which is amazing because they own almost everything. They have so much power. But is there anything you guys want to get into before we wrap up? It's harder to do these on YouTube. It's weird to get a feel for it. I'm getting more of a feel for it on YouTube. I like it over here. There's different things it shows you during the feed. So there's ups and downs to it. But the it's hard to pick a good time of day. You know, today I happened to be off, but I couldn't figure out what time to do the feed. And you do research on it online, it tells you whatever time's best for you, but that's not true. There's got to be a best time of day to do these feeds. But thank you guys, everybody who tuned in and watched. And if you shared, thank you for sharing. And we'll see you on the next episode. I'm probably going to do one again tomorrow. I'm trying these out on YouTube to see when the best time and time of day and all of that is, because I'm going to eventually either move it over to YouTube or do it on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. But thanks for watching. This has been Conspiracy Theories and Chill, and we'll see you on the next episode. Like I said, probably tomorrow. I just don't know what time we'll do it.